Hi, everyone. I'll give the platform a couple of seconds to get on board across YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. This is our review global job market highlights of the COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Sandra Bichl, and I'm representing Career Angels today to talk about the market signals on the job market. So, for those who are not familiar with Career Angels, we are a career advisory boutique that focuses mostly on Europe. 90% of our clients are in Europe, 10% are outside of Europe, especially in the Americas and South Africa, once in a while also in Australia. And as you can imagine, when you have a team of over 20 people and about 10 consultants, we usually get the answer pandemic or no pandemic. How is the job market? Is it a good moment to change? Is there stability? Is that a good moment from a timing perspective? Should I wait? Maybe then I'll get a better offer, etc., etc. And as a career advisor, you do not want to share only, well, this is my impression or this is what I've heard other people say, but at least for us, it's important to formulate our advice based on actual data. So, when the pandemic started last year, we tried to figure out what kind of KPI, real time KPI, we could use to better support our clients, the job seekers, the experienced managers, and executives. And there are two things, two KPIs that then turned into 3 and 4 KPIs that we started to track more closely. One is the number of published job ads on LinkedIn that is most relevant for our clients, experienced managers, and executives. So we wanted to see, is there demand for candidates? And although it was an estimate at the beginning or an assumption that this could work, comparing it with other job market reports, LinkedIn predicts and reflects what is currently going on any given job market in with very high accuracy. So that was actually a good choice of ours when we decided to track the number of published job ads on LinkedIn with the start of the pandemic last year. The second KPI that we track are the unemployment rates. Here, of course, these KPIs or those data points are published with a delay, so those, of course, not live KPIs. But we then also started to track number of candidates per job ads. We started having a look at how many high level, senior level job ads are now served by applicant tracking systems, etc., etc. So the market signals are a collection of data points. And I'm very proud to say that over the last year and a half, we have gathered 5,374 data points, more than 400 insights and comments from executives, HR directors, and executive search consultants. We have published 75 weekly reports, 315 daily updates, and 10 special reports. And overall, we have now been tracking 80 countries around the world for 18 months. So if now somebody asks, is it a good moment to look for a job? How's the market doing? We actually have the data and we have the answer. We don't have to rely on, well, this is what I think. If you want to have access and see where the numbers are, we publish them on 3 different platforms. One on our SlideShare account. Then you will find those data points on our LinkedIn company page and on our market signals dedicated page. And the special reports can be downloaded also, of course, from our website. So why and how is that data relevant to those who are currently listening? So one, it shows the supply of and demand for candidates, which from an employer's perspective means if you know that there is less demand, you can then adapt the job descriptions online and you don't have to compete with exceptional salaries or benefit packages because, to put it bluntly, candidates will be happy to actually get a job and it doesn't have to be a fantastic package with all the add-ins. And when you track and compare job ads from a year ago versus 2 years ago and what's been published now, the number of benefits has adapted to the demand for candidates. Well, when it was less demand for candidates, it automatically, the number of benefits went down. The moment you see that there's more demand for candidates, the number of benefits mentioned and offered goes up again. So this is one. It can, from an employer's perspective, and simply can help you save money. From a candidate's perspective, if you are an experienced manager or executive and you want to think about how to time your job search, knowing how competitive the market is, that will then automatically translate in how much time and effort you need to put into your job search. Will you find a job within 3 months, or maybe 6, 9 months, 12 months, etc.? And for everyone else, when we look at unemployment, of course, we want less unemployment, because less unemployment means, of course, more stability, more purchasing power, etc., etc. Now, as this is a live session streamed on 3 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, do feel free to comment or ask questions. You will see that I will ask some hypothetical questions. Well, not hypothetical. I will ask questions. And if somebody's there brave enough to actually comment and give it a try to answer them, feel free to do that in the comment section. Okay. Oops. So before I summarize August and how the pandemic has been going, let's see what our intuition would tell us, because we did say not everything is what it seems. So what do you think? Which African country noted an increase in the number of job ads in August? Morocco, South Africa, or Tanzania? Where in the Americas has the level of job ads increased the most in August? The US, Brazil, or Mexico? What do you think? Which European region is the winner of August 2021, meaning which is the most stable or even has seen an increase? Is it Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Southern Europe, or the Visegrad countries, which is Poland, Hungary, Czechia, and Slovakia? There you go, clicking wrong. Next question. Which European country is the winner of August 2021? Germany, Sweden, or Czechia? How many European countries out of the 28 that we have access to in terms of unemployment data through Eurostat have noted a decrease in unemployment level since July 2020? 3, 26, 15. In other words, has unemployment increased, decreased over the last year? And from a job market perspective, is the summer of 2021 globally better or worse than the summer of 2020? Even from a feelings perspective, do you think the job market is now much better than at the beginning of the pandemic, during the first pandemic summer? Is it better now during the second pandemic summer? What's your impression? Better, the same, or worse? Okay, so let's see. The big picture, we have a comparison of global reach, where you can see the numbers for Europe, Africa, the Americas, and the top 20 global economies. What's super interesting is that there so far have been 3 moments since last year where the entire world has decided to synchronize and react to what's been going on in a synchronized fashion. So on May 3, all job markets decreased their demand for candidates. And then on June 14 of this year, there was a big spike and there was lots of hiring before the summer. Then July 26, you could say there was a big dip. And August, there is no synchronization. Every region reacted to what's been going on in the world in a different way. And now we will look what that means specifically across the different regions. So in Africa, we track the top 10 economies based on GDP. Africa, as you can see, in August, minus 14.73% overall. The winners, and this has happened a couple of times over the last 17 months, where the winner is not the one with the highest increase, but with the smallest decrease in the number of job ads. So Africa winners, Angola, South Africa, Ethiopia, Losers, Kenya, Morocco, and Algeria. Then let's look at the Americas. Here you can see we track 3 countries in North America, 6 countries in Central America, and 10 countries in South America. Overall, when we look at August, there is a slight decrease of 1.70%. The winners, Brazil, plus 23%, job markets looking up in August in Brazil, Chile, plus 20%, Peru, also almost plus 20%. Losers, Paraguay, minus 1/3, so they've lost a third of the available job market opportunities within 1 month. Mexico, minus 14%, El Salvador, minus 13%. Okay. Now you might say, what about the United States? Let's have a look. So when we look at the top 20 global economies, headed by the United States, followed by China, Japan, last Turkey, number 21 would be, for example, Poland. How have the global economies been doing in August? And you will see that half of the countries have seen an increase in the demand for candidates, and the other half, from Canada down to France, they've seen a decrease in the demand for candidates. So being in Switzerland, Japan, Brazil, South Korea, Germany, Australia, China, India, Russia, Indonesia, it was a good moment for job seekers. So plenty of opportunities. In the other countries, more competition for the same positions. So it was, more competitive and more difficult for job seekers. Now let's have a look at the US. The US has had so far 4 dips. Interestingly, always around special holidays like Thanksgiving and the New Year, for example. Now, when we look specifically at August, a slight decrease of minus 2.71%. But what's important, and I think you can see that here, there is an upward trend, so that's good. In the UK, minus 5.56% with a downward trend. And you can see ever since we have been tracking the market signals, it's still it's the worst result ever since we've started tracking. So the UK job market is not in a good shape. And now I realized I made a mistake. I said it was the worst result, but actually it wasn't the worst result because we had 2 dips, December 31st and May 3. But what I meant to say is it has the worst result ongoingly as in terms of stability. Okay. Now let's have in Europe. In Europe, we track 38 countries and we divided them into regions: Southeastern Europe, which is the biggest region, Western Europe, Northern Europe, the Visegrad countries, Southern Europe, the Baltics, Benelux, DACH, and Iberia. So let's have a look. Europe in August has seen a decrease of minus 3.48%. And you can also see it's by far the worst time ever since the start of the pandemic. When you compare to same time last year, so July and August 2020 versus July and August 2021, it is much worse. There's much less demand for candidates than a year ago. August winner in terms of region in Europe are the Visegrad countries: Czechia, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, with an increase of plus 10.49%. And you can see, hopefully, that there's an upward trend. So things are looking up if you're a job seeker in those countries. The tendency is a positive one. Visegrad, same time last year, was a little bit better, but the difference is not as dramatic as when we look at Europe as a whole. Then the best country in Europe in August was Czechia with an increase of plus 18.76%. Czechia, same time last year. You could say it's pretty much same, been there, done that. So summer 2020 and summer 2021 for job seekers and for employers is almost identical, aside from the small difference at the first 2 weeks of July. Then August, the worst performing region was Iberia, Portugal, Spain, Andorra. They have seen a decrease in the number of job ads of 17.62%. Same time last year. 2021 is doing slightly worse than summer 2020. And then the losing country of August goes to France. Their job market has shrunk by another quarter, minus 23.70%. Overall, we see, well, it was first a downward tendency, now with a slight increase, but it's not yet back to where it used to be. Same time last year, you can see by August, mid-August 2020, there was again an upward trend where companies would hire more people. Right now, it's, well, you see the slide. Germany is always an interesting country to look at. In August, the German job market has seen an increase of 8.99%, which is of course good. Let's see Germany last year versus now. Last year, again, starting mid-August, there was a clear upward trend in there were more job opportunities available. Same time last year, plus we had an upward trend. Right now, instead of almost 2 million, we have 1 million, so that it's half the size of the job market from a year ago. And there is just a tiny upward trend. And then the DACH region, the slide speaks for itself. The first week of July, the job market said, yeah, we look like same time last year. And then 2021 said, no, let's do worse. And you can see there's a big difference again of over 1 million available job opportunities between last year and this year when it comes to the summertime. Southeastern Europe might surprise you. They have much more job opportunities than summer of 2020, so they're doing significantly better. Northern Europe is approximately the same. So that's also good, more stability here. And when we look at the difference, August 2020 versus August 2021, I've already mentioned it, the job market has shrunk by almost half in comparison, so minus 42.02%, unfortunately. Now it sounds all bad, but I do have good news, so please bear with me. Europe, biggest increase as an annual overview, Northern Macedonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Biggest annual decrease year by year, year to year, Ukraine minus 86%, Switzerland minus 73%, France minus 56%. So those job markets have seen a huge, tremendous hit, which, I mean, there are always two sides to the story, which is good for employers. You can be more picky, you can look for the right candidates, and your benefit packages don't have to be as substantial as they used to be before COVID. Then let's have a look and summarize. Let's not look by region, but big picture. So the change in the number of LinkedIn job ads. So how has the demand for candidates changed in Europe? In 19 countries, because it didn't sound all that good what I was saying, in 19 countries, the LinkedIn number of job ads is definitely up. And in 19 countries, it's down. So it's 50-50. And then when it comes to the change in unemployment rates, here I have very good news. Out of the 28 countries that do share their most recent data, only one country has seen an increase in unemployment rates. Poland managed to go back to the same level. And 26 in the remaining 26 countries, unemployment is down, which is definitely good news. What about the change in the number of the other KPIs that I mentioned at the beginning? Good news for experienced managers and executives. So we're now looking only at a portion of the published job ads. There are definitely more job ads for experienced managers and executives. And we have a methodology to source certain job ads for experienced international senior candidates. And when you have a look at how many we manage to find every week, over the last 16, 17 months, it was usually anywhere between 30 and 40. And over the summer, it was consistently 50, 60 and more. And the other thing is there are definitely less candidates per job ad. So, I mean, I get that unemployment is down, but there's still unemployed experienced managers and executives who have not been able to find a job. So this is a really good moment for job seekers, especially experienced job seekers, because there's a demand for senior talents and there are less candidates per job ad, so the competition is lower. Okay, so let's see if you've gotten your answers right at the beginning. I asked which African country noted an increase in the number of job ads in August. The correct answer is none. Where in Americas has the level of job ads increased the most in August? Here the correct answer was Brazil. Which European region is the winner of August 2021? It's the Visegrad region. And then, which European country is the loser of August 2021? France. How many European countries have noted a decrease in unemployment levels since July 2020? The correct answer is 26, so this is good news. And from a job market's perspective, is the summer of 2021 globally better or worse than summer of 2020? And here, looking at all the KPIs, objectively, you'd have to say worse. If you say for an employer's perspective, you could say, well, now it's easier to find certain candidates, but overall, the job market is worse off, even though unemployment in Europe has definitely improved over the last 12 months. Okay, what does that now mean for candidates specifically? Depending on which country you're in, more job ads, if you are in a country where you have more job ads and less unemployment, you don't need to put as effort and time into your job search. On the other hand, if there are less job ads or same or higher unemployment, of course, the job search and the effort that needs to be invested and put into the job search can increase by 2 to 3 times. That also means that having a look at how the job market has shifted to more technology solutions, you definitely, as a candidate, need 2 CVs, a so-called human CV and a CV for applicant tracking systems. 60 to 70% of all job opportunities for experienced managers and executives go through applicant tracking systems. And if you don't know how to adapt your CV to that, even though you might be the best candidate, if you don't know how to format your CV, how to add the right keywords, you might not even be considered because the software decided that the keywords are not a match. So definitely you need to have 2 CVs. You definitely need to work all 4 job search channels, which is getting in touch with relevant headhunters of your target locations, apply through job ads. And that's the thing, when you work in career advisory, you see what changes on the job market. If you look at materials from Career Angels from 2015, you can hear me say, if you're an experienced manager or executive, you can entirely ignore job ads, which as of 2021 is no longer true. So you actually have to work the job ad channel, use the direct approach, and definitely do networking. And one thing that has also changed over the last year and a half, the tendency was there before, but now we see it even more, with more candidates being available on the job market employers are much more precise in who they pick and how they pick the candidates. So once they see discrepancies between how you talk about yourself, what you communicate yourself, if they see the CV says one thing, the LinkedIn profile says something else. So those things don't help you. And sometimes it seems like details, but actually they have a huge impact on your employability. So definitely make sure you have a consistent personal branding. And if you're a senior candidate who might need support and guidance, feel free to get in touch with me directly. And depending then on your profile, I will match you with one of our career consultants. You can book a career consultation with us or ask for a CV report. All of that is, of course, confidential and absolutely free of charge. No strings attached. If you'd like to see more of what we do, there are a couple of options. You can check out our Udemy course that is called Every Step of the Job Search Explained, backed by research. I highly recommend checking out also our YouTube channel called Career Management and Job Search. And of course, check back to our LinkedIn live streams, which we try to do once every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how the week shape up and if we have something meaningful to share. If what we do is valuable to you, you can thank us. The way you have to go through the different LinkedIn algorithms and ATS filters, we as a channel also have our challenges to make sure we are seen among the right target group. So we've put together a list of things that you can do in order to help us hack our algorithms. You can check the website careerangels.eu/how to thank us, where we suggest what specific content to follow. And you can also say, hey, I really like that. I'd like to buy you a coffee. And you can do that virtually. And we also have included where you can do that. Okay, let's see. If you have any questions, this is a good moment now to share them. I'd be really interested to see who has gotten the answers right. And yeah, while you are typing, if I end the broadcast while still somebody was typing, I then will reply, of course, afterwards through a private message. Thank you very much for joining. The next live session will be in approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, enjoy the weekend, and I hope to be able to bring much better news once I summarize September 2021. Have a good weekend.